Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all. My name is FARIDATUL SHAFIQAH BINTI HISHAMUDDIN 065112 will be presenting my topic about war on question. Analyze the causes, context and impact of the Cold War global constellation. Firstly, what is Cold War? It is referred to a period lasting approximately 40 years when the Soviet Union and the Americans spied and threatened each other, but they never actually fought. Amongst historians, they argue that the Cold War started in 1945 and ended in 1991. The conflict was based around the ideological and geopolitical struggle for global influence by these two superpowers following their temporary alliance and victory against Nazi Germany in 1945. Why it happens? There are four causes of Cold War. Mainly, difference between Truman and Stalin. Truman simply disliked Stalin and the Soviets. This is quite evident from the signing of a US foreign policy known as the Truman Doctrine, which vowed to help countries under the threat of the Soviets. Joseph Stalin interpreted this as a war cry, but Truman countered it through US policies. Thus, the US responded with the Truman Doctrine, in which the US would give financial aid to countries threatened by the communists. US atomic bomb. In 1945, America created and used the atomic bomb against Japan, and the USSR was determined to create one of its own. Both the USSR and the US pulled up huge arsenal of intercontinental ballistic missiles, and the United States tested a hydrogen bomb in 1952, and in November 1955, SR developed one too. The Berlin crisis. In the 1950s, the communist government of East Germany controlled and prevented its citizens from fleeing to the West. In response to Soviet Union imposed a blockade of Berlin to halt the process of unifying West Germany and to secure the Soviet-controlled territory in the Eastern Zone. The Berlin blockade lasted for almost 20 days and became one of the major crises during the Cold War. The Soviet Union blocked Allied access to the West Berlin, which resulted in a shortage of commodities, including food, medicine, fuel. USSR expansion west into Eastern Europe. Many politicians in the United States had high hopes of America working with the Soviet Union after the war and did not advocate strong resistance against Russian expansion. But this to change. They did not give money to the Soviet Union and any of its satellite states. The United States' motivation for doing this was to provide themselves with trading partners and to economically isolate the Soviet Union. What happened during the Cold War? Timeline of the Cold War can be divided to four stages. The 1940s, the 1950s, 1960s, and 1970s to 1990s. Lastly, impacts of Cold War to global constellation. Radiation legacies. Scientists, technicians, military personnel, civilians, and animals were exposed to the radiation above normal background levels as a result of decades of nuclear weapons production, experimentation, and testing. In addition, several significant radiation-related accidents occur at military and civilian nuclear reactors and facilities. Security legacies. An appropriate continuing level of security remains necessary through all life cycle phases, from production to decommissioning, as the entire military nuclear infrastructure requires protection, and that requires a commensurate allocation of funding. Economic legacies. The United States, along with Great Britain, represent the West Bloc and the capitalist system, whilst the Soviet Union was given the Eastern Bloc and expanded their communist system. By psychological legacies, the state of the citizens in the United States during the Cold War was unstable. There was an overwhelming sense of fear, powerlessness, and futurelessness, uncertainty about the future. The impending fear of a nuclear war with mutually assured destruction was ever present in the mindset and the everyday social anxieties of American citizens during the Cold War era. That's all from me. Thank you and see you next time.